Korea, and the 4B is representative of 4 words, Korean words. And I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it properly,
Korean
so
word.
forgive me. Right, so it's Bihon, Bishula, Bishul Sam, Biane, and Biskesu, which translates to no marriage, no childbirth, no dating, and no sex with men. So those are the meanings of the 4 B's, Korean words, right? And again, the concept of the article is that these women believe that they are they're hated by men,
Right.
and in retaliation, they are they have decided that this is the best approach, and it is coming to the fore now, or it is being linked to the American people having decided that Trump is a better option. And as we know, Trump has been, I believe, convicted of crimes against women. And as a result of what he represents in his personal life and his convictions in association with it, it is now the reason why they're coming to the fore to say, well, guess what? You have made a decision to have this person put in power. We are now taking a stance to protect ourselves. Also in 2016, a gentleman stabbed a woman to death in Korea because he felt that women were ignoring him. And so that was his way of demonstrating his frustration. And this group of women are saying, we depended on men to protect us. They are not protecting us. And so it is in our interest to protect ourselves. And the way they're doing so is deciding to not have sex with men, not have any children, not get married, and so on and so forth. So that, I hope, is a summary of the article.
Well, all right. Well summarized. Women have been feeling a little disheartened over the fact that Donald Trump actually won the election. So here is where I start the conversation. Lady Elise, you were saying?
I wasn't saying anything at this present moment. I was just
Trying to
listen,
deflect?
listening to the conversation and saying and wondering when they say they're not having sex with men, does that mean they're having sex otherwise?
No, no. You see, no. I didn't even start the conversation. I did not even say anything at all, right? And just to listen to that conversation, just hearing the conversation alone, you now know that it's not women who really want to be with men that are talking now.
Okay, guys, before just so that I'm fully representing the article, it then went on to speak about inequality in terms of pay and
Right. That's
again
it. That's it. That's it. That's a little. That's a
the
little flower they
concept,
want to chew on the venom and the poison. Go ahead.
and it includes conversations around femicide, revenge porn, and digital sex crimes. So
Here's
again, the basis of their contention is around not feeling protected, and as a result, they're taking the position to protect themselves. I think Lady Elise has been around Mikey G so long that without Michael having made the statement, she has made it for him. I will, however, I will, however, not speculate as to what their alternative is, but
we
to
shouldn't. We shouldn't
state for
speculate.
us it is that they're just not having, they're just deciding to abstain
That's a different
from.
statement. You would say I would have decided to be celibate or decided to abstain. But
You're
But that's
not
what they're
having
the
sex with
state
men.
the
You're not
statement
having
is
sex with men. That's what it says.
exactly.
Statement says,
no, but they
if I'm not having sex with men, who am I going to have sex with? That's the question.
well again. I am just not going to say what they didn't say. They just said that they're not what they're
Very
not
good.
doing. And
And so
if somebody,
by
if
not
I'm
saying
going
what
to
they didn't say,
if I'm going to speculate, I am going to say that they are accepting that it is sex
well,
is
in,
only hold on, that they're saying that sex is supposed to be with men. And so if they are taking a stance to protect themselves, the to protect themselves is against what men have been doing. And in order for them to take that stance, it is to say that men are the ones who would be uh, the ones they're having sex with.
well, here's the question. Here's the part of the article that you probably didn't see yet. We
Okay.
that this movement is also connected to the Me Too and the lesbian movement.
Feminist.
Feminist lesbian movement. It puts the three things in place. It
Okay.
put feminism in place. The same, read the article. Look at the whole thing. It put feminism in place that is run by the lesbian movement and would have organized a Me Too movement along the same line. So the three organization is one of the same, right? So,
Okay.
the lesbians created the feminist movement that created the Me Too movement that now says they're having a 4B movement that don't want to have sex with men. So who do you want to do it with? So we didn't have to say anything more. I don't have to say that that's what they didn't say. What you didn't say was, what you said was, you are a lesbian who created a movement that wants to stop women from being with men, that also create a movement that demonize and criminalize men at every whim. And then on top of that, you're going to say that you are doing it for the good of who, right? But here's where I'm going to go with the conversation, Lady Coralie.
And I
When
think
we
you
talk about the woman, hold on, when we talk about the woman that was stabbed and stuff like that, I asked somebody the question yesterday. We are having a conversation. The police officers are all around and they have guns, and of course, many officers are found to have misused their power that they have been given. Shot and kill many persons innocently and would have been somewhat disenfranchising those families from their loved ones. All right? But the question is, if that police officer that went out of sort and did such an evil act, did they remove all the guns from all those police officers? Given that one person or that 10 officers disregard for law, even though they were given the rights to uphold those laws. Did they take away the weapons and then demote all those police officers? Did they do that? The answer would be no. The answer would be that they would have prosecuted those who came in violation of the law and would have been give a clear path to say those persons are against what law and order means. So it wouldn't be policemen are going and killing off people, and that would be a broad brush, and many people do it, right? Does it? But here's where we must stand. We must have the consideration that the law operates in legal terms, and those who have fouled of the law are persecuted by the same law, right? Here is the lady Babette who cut off the man's private parts. And then, if that's the case, then men could say we want to abstain from sex with women because women are cutting off men's private parts. That could be an argument. But us smart men would never make a foolish statement like that because that would be just so rubbish that we wouldn't even want to conduct a conversation along that line. What we'll do is we'll try to find a better place to put that it don't get cut off while it's happening, right? So, so we're not going to resort to, we're not doing it. We're not that smart. Here's the last piece about it. Women are starting out not to have children in this line of 4B movement, coming from a lesbian movement that brought in force a feminist movement, that brought in force a Me Too movement, and then bringing in force a 4B movement. No, this is where it's all linked together, and we didn't see this. And I would say this: we didn't see all of this. We didn't see it, but now you are introducing no childbearing in the mix of it. Now I would ask the question, and I beg people who would have actually have some level of understanding of how life works and the consideration of human limitation or finiteness, and how we as human beings would have been even able to maintain being here for so long. Women,
So,
women,
sorry.
some women, I won't broad brush all women now, because I'm sure that some of our women will never go along that dumb line of stupidity. And I'm going to call it what it is. Just as I was saying a while ago, I'm not even going to fix it up.
All right. So you made a point at the end of you made 3 points. At the end of the last point, you make mention of the prosecution of those who
would
did
engage
wrong.
in criminal activity against women.
So, but then that is a catalyst for bringing this concept to the fore, because what they're saying is that the president-elect has been found to be a criminal in his behavior towards women.
That's who said. But by now we are seeing the conversation.
Right.
Now we are hearing.
Sorry, Mike. Right. So again, because of how the justice system would have justice, meted out justice, and the country is saying that it doesn't matter. That is how it is interpreted. It doesn't matter that this individual has has violated women.
Right.
The message that it is sending to women is that he is given a pass, because remember, that he now has the right, the power to absolve himself from all those charges that were laid against him. I will also say that the article went on, not which I have to be fair, that it does say that women, or there are two women I am referencing here. One who is 26-year-old, and she said that the movement has gotten her attention because she has had relationships that were unhealthy, resulting in abuse and assault. And so for her, it is an avenue of expressing. Another lady who says that she intends to have a child, but she's going to have her child on her own. So they're varying takeaways.
Yes.
And the varying levels of acceptance that women are having. But the main point, again, is that the reason why it is even an issue at this point, because remember, it is in Korea. And the article that had said they are not sure yet how receptive it is in the US. It doesn't seem as if there's any traction just yet. But the US is of note because of who they chose as the leader and what he is not just known, but what he has been convicted for, and the message that is being sent to the wider world.
Well, for if we reference the point, I would say that the President of the United States has not been convicted of any sexual crime. They tried to put money crimes, like evasion of some taxes and stuff, but he was never convicted of sexual crime.
Daniel's conversation, the issue about him groping women.
No. Hold on. I'm going to come to it. And so if that's the case, then every man should actually be convicted at some point. And some of the women too should be convicted too, because they love the idea. In the songs that the men sing and are being sung, the women are dancing to those songs that you want to group them and do all these things to them and treat them like a bitch. These kind of conversations comes out in the songs, and lots of women are dancing to these songs. The same group of women who are now saying that the president-elect is actually saying these things. I'm not justifying one to choose another, but I'm saying it is like a bit disheartening to hear how the women in the same space love the derogatory connotation being referred to them, and even would have created songs teaching prostitution and whoredom, and depriving men out of money. Hold on, depriving men out of money by selling their bodies online for cheapness, for nothing, and then come and call and then say men are this and doing this and that. It is a very troubling thing. So where do we draw the line is the question. We're not going to use one statement to say that because this is happening to women, women are approving this, that other women don't approve it. And it is all right for him to say some things. But I'm saying this, that this statement was not a statement that caused him, I just bring it to this point, that has caused him a lawsuit or caused him any criminal charges that was brought against him in any way at all. And I remember the statement being made. I saw when I understand the context of what it was made. And I remember the condition on which it was under. It was in a private conversation with him and his friends. And somebody decided to make a statement. How many private conversations, hold on, would I have with somebody and they tape recorded me and then publicized that I said this in my private quarters, private places, where I'm protected from people, So I have to know at this point, say something has gone awry,
Why are you, Michael? I cannot, in good conscience, not respond to that, because I agree with you that first of all, there is no justification for a woman being mistreated, none whatsoever. And so whether she's a prostitute,
and I did say that. I did make that in my point. I did make that in my point.
Please, you hear, the thing is, there's no, and I'm agreeing with you, and so I have to endorse the part of your statement that is within my remit. I cannot, it doesn't justify anything at all. And even if she's a prostitute, even if it is that she had ulterior motives, there's nothing that justifies her being mistreated. And these women who came out in the article were in what they perceived to be regular relationships. They weren't prostitutes, they weren't. And the fact that they have been subjected to this unhealthy relationship is where we need to have the conversation, and so when you're having a private conversation, I think, when they say that what is in the darkness must come to light, but a lot of other things have come to light where women have accused him of ill-treating them, and he would have had opportunities to defend himself, right? And so the course of law would have to take him through that process. And in some instances, there are situations that he has already been convicted of with regards to how he treats women, and the biggest thing for me is how he would have disrespected his wife, right? And so what is the statement that, having elected this as the leader of one of the most powerful nations of the world, is saying to women? And whereas I am not going to align myself with a feminist, or because I have children, I was married, and so I'm not in any of those things. It says something to me about how I would want to have faith in men to protect me, and it doesn't have to be that I am.
Here's a question for you.
I shouldn't have to be thinking twice about it. And so I am feeling, and I can tell you, as much as I am not against, as much as I am against the 4 Bs, I am still in my personal space very concerned about the message that is sent to the world about based on the choice that they would have made. You know, how protected am I as a female? How protected am I as an individual? Because he has made so many statements that have caused for him, not just what he represents
Well,
against women.
here's a protection for you. Here's a protection for you as a female. He will not allow female men to go in your bathrooms anymore, dress up as women. That's protection already, right there. Hold on.
What you're saying is make sure I use it
Here's where I'm gonna go.
before I go on the road.
Can I interject to tell you that it's past the news time? Thank
All
you
right, so
very
let me
much.
wrap this up. I got it,
We
lady.
can wrap it after.
Thank you for the reminder. But I want to make this just to say this, that what we have looked at in this election was never against women's rights. It was against man's power versus woman's power. And that was what this election was about. It wasn't about the border and what you call the economy. It was not. It wasn't none of that. When we looked at the statement from this group of persons, we then saw the scab of the sore foot. Everybody know what a sore foot looked like. That thing was ruined a long time. There was a lot of powerful women, feminist women, who are trying to disembobulate men in a lot of ways. And I want to speak on behalf of men right now. And I'm saying, while we may think it is something else, it is not. And I know the arguments are strongly against the men doing all this against women and men doing this against women. But here's the truth. Women are protected in every part of life by men. Men are the protectors of women. Here's what I'd leave on the table. If you don't have strong men to protect women, another nation would come and take the same women and run off with them and go do all sorts of things with them, the same things that you are wanting to be protected from by the same men who you'll be disregarding, right? And so you have to give credence to those men who will stand up and protect women, while there are men who are not so kind, but there's not the majority of men who are not so kind. So we want to say that it's a small minority that may have some against those some commit some crime or commit some atrocities, but then there's also men who stand up and give their lives for women and your protection. So how can you be so unkind and then you broad brush all men and then you start to say you don't want men and it's a big thing, and so it is troubling to hear it. And so when I saw the election, I said this election came down to the wire of man versus women. And this was what I was saying from day one. And just seeing this article on Saturday just brought me right back to where my conversation was. Three movements came out. The lesbians who created the feminist movement to take out the housewives out of the house and tell them that they don't need no man. And then the 4B movement, well, who created the Me Too movement that now is now mushrooming into 4Bs. 4Bs means they're not going to have sex with men, they don't have children, and what the other two is, I don't even remember.
So, Lady Elise, I'm going to ask you for a minute because Michael would have laid down his position from a man's perspective, and so we have to balance it. And I will say to you that if it is that the election came down to man versus woman, and so it doesn't matter what the man represents, in a court of law, the people of his peers would have found him guilty. He's a criminal. And that's what makes a criminal. We've had discussions before about who is a criminal. It's not the accused who is a criminal because you're innocent until proven guilty. This individual has been proven to be guilty of infractions against the law. And we have decided, we, the people, have decided that he better represent them.
Men and women.
No, Michael, I'm going to ask you, please allow me to finish. The people have decided that he's a better candidate to lead them. This is somebody who, when he was in power for 4 years, and I'm moving it from just about females. He would, during his reign, he would have decided that he was not going to be a part of the United Nations because the United States is contributing far more, and so people need to pull their weight. And so he was very vocal in how he is going to influence the world. And so when you have decided that just because this person is a male, he is better able to lead, irrespective of what he would have said, even irrespective of what he publicly, you spoke about what he said privately, irrespective of what he said publicly, you're going to put him up there. For me, that has bigger concerns than just being a female. It has greater concerns because of how he would have portrayed himself before when he was in the seat. And what we're saying is that he, having been now convicted of a criminal activity, of 90 odd activities, 90 odd, you're going to tell me that he is better because he is male, then I have a big problem with that. And if that is a position that you're putting out there to the world, then it is.
I didn't put that position.
Not making me say.
I did not put that position to the world.
No, but then and I'm not.
What I did was,
Michael, I'm saying to you that I mean, we just need to balance it.
And no, I did not put that position to the world. What I did was I identified what the election was about. So I'm not suggesting that we go against moral principles or whichever way. I am saying
what you've done.
What I did was I called out.
You spoke about. Sorry, Michael. You spoke about
time
what
for
law
the news
represents, and we have disregarded. I rest my case. I'm done.
All right. Here's 2 points I want to make. And I'm not going to go along the line. I'm not going to go and rebut anything that you said.
You're disrupting the flow of things.
I'm not going to rebut anything you said. I want to make 2 points, and I want to make them know.
But sir, Michael.
No, let me make it. Here's 2 points I want to make. I'm going to go to the church. And I'm putting a zipper on the conversation with the man and woman conversation now. I'm going to leave it there. And of course, I would have said that Corley Karen got the last word in. That's it. I'm not going to say anything about it. But what I want to say though is this. Unfortunately for many persons, the elect president is not the best choice for many reasons. Many persons would say this. Different faction of persons. Women say one thing, and Christian groups say one thing, another country say another thing, and this is where it's going to go. But here's something that comes out of it. And I want to speak directly to what you call the remnant church, the one that is slated to bring the end time message to the world, that was muzzled under the movement of sodomy, that was crippled by the idea that they can't speak against these kind of things. The church has been muzzled under the laws of homosexuality and all these things, that you should not speak against these things, otherwise you're going to be imprisoned. The very Bible that speaks against it, you want to burn it again. What I'm saying is this. Donald Trump, in his first statement, here's where I'm going to talk to the church now, has given the church an opportunity for 4 years to now come out and teach their children that a man and a woman is God's plan for marriage and relationship. They have 4 years without finding themselves seriously injured by people who say you can have two spirits inside you. Right? That's demon possession right there, you know. I mean, based on the Bible. Right? So what you're looking at, the church have 4 years to teach good biblical principles to the people and the world. Secondly, we know that as the persons who teach truth about the mark of the beast, Sunday law being present, we now know and we look at it and we say that uniting church and state is going to be under the present tutelage or leadership of the now elected government. that will be, well, not elected, newly elected government that will be running the world in a few months. Those persons, by following scripture and prophecy, will unite church and state. For those who understand that principle, they now know that the Sunday law, while it has already been in effect, will be enforced, and so too the mark of the beast will follow. These people knows this information. 4 years to make an impact. For 150, 60 years, may have been quiet, a little bit too quiet. Maybe in the last 30 or 40 years, too quiet. Now I have an opportunity to teach the world a little bit more about what they believe and the end time message that they need to teach. And of course, maybe get a little unmuzzled to talk about family life and how the family should work in the home. That's where I go with the conversation.
Well said, Mikey G. And so at this juncture, we're a little late for the news, but I believe Lady Elise is ready to go. And so we are now at the news brief.
Yes, it's time for the news, of course, and let's hear really what's happening, you know, in Cayman and the rest of the world. Let's hear what's happening right there.
Good morning, listeners. It is Monday, November 11, and these are the top stories for today. In local news, Cayman marked Remembrance Sunday with a solemn ceremony at Georgetown's War Memorial. The event included a traditional 2-minute silence and a wreath-laying tribute led by acting Governor Franz Manderson. Members of the uniformed services, volunteers, veterans, and school groups gathered at Elmsley Memorial United Church to honor those who served. Several mention goes to Nevia and Ravana Solomon, ages 10 and 5, who laid a wreath on behalf of Joanna Clark Primary School in Savannah. Young Nevea shared her pride in honoring this tradition. Turning to more somber news, a vehicular accident on East End Main Road on Friday night has left the community concerned, as reports suggest there may have been a fatality. A man reportedly on his way to work at Health City Hospital was struck down. Authorities are still investigating and will bring you more details as the situation unfolds. The much anticipated Pirates Landing saw buccaneers coming ashore at Hogstie Bay. Thrilling crowds gathered at the harbour front. To cap off the celebration, a dazzling drone show lit up the sky with images showcasing Cayman's cultural symbols. In other news, a strong 6.8 magnitude earthquake shook southeastern Cuba at 11:49 a.m. on Sunday, followed by several aftershocks. Hazard Management Cayman Islands has advised residents to stay informed over the next 24 to 48 hours. While there is no immediate threat to Cayman, officials are closely monitoring the situation. We encourage everyone to keep updated through official channels. Meanwhile, in Jamaica, several social media was abuzz as residents reported feeling the tremors from this morning's earthquake. Meanwhile, in Jamaica, several social media was abuzz as residents reported feeling the tremors from the earthquake. The quake was felt in Kingston, St. Andrew, Clarendon, and St. James, among other areas. Local personalities, including Lisa Hanna and Terry Carell Johnson, took to social media to confirm the experience. Although the earthquake unit in Jamaica has yet to release official data, the Android earthquake alert systems estimate the quake's magnitude at 5.4. The tremor was reportedly felt across the Caribbean, including the Bahamas, Haiti, and the Cayman Islands. Shifting to the world stage, Caribbean beauty queens impress at the Miss Earth 2024 finals held in the Philippines. Miss Dominica Republic, Tamara Aznar, and Miss Puerto Rico, Bianca Carabello, secured places in the top 8. Carabello earned the Von Veld Nature Farm Ambassadress Award, and Diaz from Cuba won accolades for upcycling and regional appearances. Miss US Virgin Islands, Bianca McSween, charmed the press, winning the Darling of the Press Prize for the Americas region. Miss Earth title ultimately went to Jessica Lane of Australia, but it was a strong showing for our Caribbean beauties. And that wraps up today's news on Flashpoint Radio. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for more updates, and keep safe.
I want to say thanks. I want to say thanks to Lady Corley this morning
There you have it. Yes, I want to thank Coralie Karen. And of
for
course, we also want to share a highlight of Pirates Week. Coralie Karen had a chance to catch up with a few persons there on set, and we certainly want to share that with our listeners this morning.
Pirates Week celebration.
Okay, I see you're not hearing that, so let's go for a commercial break, and then we shall return to that conversation.
After these messages,
When you need ultrasound that's safe and effective, you must visit Asai Ultrasound Imaging. They're conveniently located at number 4 Chestnut Center, Smith Road, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. With experienced technologists with over 20 years experience, their friendly staff will make you comfortable while you get your procedure done. Asai Ultrasound Imaging is open Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturdays. Call Asai Ultrasound Imaging 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426. That's 345-949-2454 or 345-938-3426.
events that will be taking place. And with me is
Judy Gilbert.
Judy,
Jada Worms.
Jill,
Jada.
Jada, awesome. So this is the second night of the events, having started yesterday. And so I'm going to ask
Judy.
Jada and Judy, awesome, to tell us a little bit about what to expect for this week. So let's start with Judy.
Yeah. Well, tonight, of course, is the landing. So the pirates came in already, and we did all that, and we had the drone show. So each evening, tomorrow will be the kids' day, which is at the turtle farm. So you can bring the little ones, and they can see the
Kids
turtles.
under 12 dressed in pirate costumes are free entry.
Oh, awesome.
And adults are $15. But they're gonna have little giveaways and different things for kids to do. And it's an original by Cara, which does art, and she's actually done something for kids to do. So you get an original from Cara. And then we have, so that's the family fun day. That's between 12 and 4. That's tomorrow. And then we have the Mike Lockwood run first thing Monday morning.
Yes, starting at what time?
It starts, I think it's 6.
Is it a 5K or 10K?
It's a 5K.
6 a.m.
Yeah, so it's 6 a.m. So you get your t-shirt and everything for that one. So you register. You have your bib, you have your t-shirt, you have everything. So
And so for those persons who have not yet registered, is
I
it
believe
too
they can
late?
still register. I think we'll be registering Monday as well. So definitely.
So persons would need to get here like maybe 5:30
Yes.
if they haven't yet registered
Definitely.
to get that done and so that they can practice the case.
Definitely.
So yeah, so
And then we have our district days, which is, it used to be this way years ago, and then they changed it, and now they've changed it back, which gives each district a chance to show us what they have. Yeah. Instead of just being one, everybody gets to show what their
Instead
customs
of one
is.
whole island, it's different parts of the island, essentially.
awesome. So it gives the different districts an
Yeah.
opportunity to, as you said, it spotlight
That's right, to
themselves.
shine.
So you have teams as well, such as yourself, sharing
Yes.
about the different districts and how pirates we impact them.
In fact, yes. And also showing what they used to do.
Awesome.
If it, some did the baskets, some did the planting of the ground. So you learn how to do that, and then show you how they did it, how they ran their day through back then.
Oh,
So you learn a little bit more, and it's usually, and we're having the gimme story. The gimme story is either some are scary stories. It all depends because, of course, we have duppies and
of course we have dumplings.
so it's part of our culture of putting it, putting it in words so that people can understand and enjoy as well.
Perfect.
Or verbal culture.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
A verbal culture.
Or verbal culture. Awesome. So those are the district days, and then maybe Judy?
Jada.
Jada. Judy. J number 2.
Yep.
Would you like to tell us about the finale? What to expect?
The finale, we were inside the coffee suite, so it's going to be the last day, where you can also get your Pirates Week merchandise. You can get shirts, hats, buttons, bandanas, the whole 9 yards. It's a pretty decent price, in my opinion. And then after, we also have the food festival.
Yeah.
Limited supply, right?
Limited supply. That one, yes, that's limited.
So Judy and Jada, if someone has not yet planned which day, is there any day that you would highlight to say this is the day to capture everything that it should have?
Well, today would have been a good day.
Okay, today.
And then next Saturday is also a good day, but East End has a very rich culture. As far as I'm concerned, it has a very rich culture. And the food is delicious. Back to back. Yes.
So if you want rich culture, information about Pirates Week, then you need to come on every single day,
Every
right?
day, that's
every
right.
day. But just in case you needed a specific day, the ladies, Judy and Jada, are encouraging you to go to Northside on Tuesday the 12th and East End on Wednesday the 13th. But it culminates next Saturday.
With the fireworks.
Awesome.
So
And the
definitely.
fest.
And
Yes.
the fest.
And the
There's going to
fest.
be a fest. So
Yes.
if you're in a very party mood after watching the fireworks,
Enjoying ourselves. So come on out, everybody. Pirates Week is on.
It's like we're running in circles.
There you have it, of course. The news as well as some news highlights.
Well, of course, Pirates Week was a big thing. I mean, here it is. Here's a piece, a statement I'm going to do now because we were talking a little bit about this whole thing. So, normally it sounds bad, and so it's a very bad thing. I'm going to say something that sounds really ridiculous. Here is where the storyline goes.
Thank you for preparing us, Michael.
I'm preparing you for it. I'm preparing you for it. On the streets of the roads, in the roads, are women who are wearing almost nothing. Some of the clothes are painted on. Are we agreeing with that?
Not necessarily.
That was
We
we did not witness that at all.
no
You saw persons who had long skirts. We did take a picture with the, I don't remember her name now,
Patricia.
Elisa.
I'll probably share that picture.
What
Yeah.
you did? What you did? Did you take a picture? Just find her in the crowd and pick one picture of her?
Actually, there was an area, Elisa calls it the hub, where they were actually taking you through the journey of Pirates Week. And we actually took pictures with persons who were adorned. It was Captain, I don't remember his name, but he is on the billboard. And so you had the captain taking us through the history of Pirates Week. And there was also a female. She has been doing it since 1976. And she was there in her long garb, no short anything. It was very long.
But then let me ask you, what percentage of women were there in the longer? 90%, 5%, 100%?
Had on it was more pants that they had, and the corset was the costume that they wore. They had on their feathered hats and so on. You had varying degrees, but I didn't see a lot of skimpily dressed women, to be very honest with you. We saw some men, and I took a picture with a lovely gentleman who had his guts all bared out. I mean, beard as in on show. And I was like, really, is this appropriate for me to be taking a picture with a gentleman who is so scantily adorned? But
yeah, I know. Yeah, guess what the men says? Guess what the men says?
Please tell me.
When they see the women scantily adorned, like most of the women you saw on the parade.
I didn't say most of them were scantily adorned.
No, we know what you're going to do is we're going to show the parade, and then people just judge by their own self. They will say what they say. No, we don't have to make it up for them. We don't have to fix it up for nobody. Because you know what we know is that the evidence of things not seen. It's not faith now. It is seen. The evidence is there, right? There are women. There are lots of beautiful women there. Where if you as a man walk up to them and approach them and say, would you take off your clothes? Let me see you. They would not do it. But when you go out on a Pirates Day like that, they are willingly doing it for everybody.
We never saw any scantily.
For free, without anybody telling them to take it off.
Repeated, Elisa, because that was not. We were there Saturday night. So I don't know if the scantily dressed women were there in the morning, because we got there maybe about 7:15, and the road was.
Oh, it's in the night that you went? Did you see the days? Did you see the days preceding?
No, we were at church, because that was Saturday night. Saturday night we went out with
The point is the guys like it. The guys enjoyed it. They really did, and it was fine. It was good.
Well, as I said, we didn't see. That was not what we witnessed, and so I can only speak to what we saw, what I saw, to be more specific. But it was really good. The drone display was magnificent. I was really, really impressed by it. And as Jada shared, they didn't want to have two magnificent shows on the same occasion. So whereas they did the drone show Saturday night, they will do the fireworks next week. But fireworks will be a feature of every night's performance or display throughout the week.
Because
So
the Pirates Week is not just a day; it's a weekly. It's an entire week of events that takes
right,
place.
so it started on the 8th and will culminate on the 16th.
Yeah, our conversation is tied in very well with the culmination of the Pirates Week, what we're having this morning. It's very, very unique. These guys, pirates are, well, if we know what pirates are known for their anarchy and lots of stuff, right? We know what pirates are. So our conversation this morning is wholesome. We have a good depiction of how we as people operate, right? We see the good in people, not just the bad, you know.
I mean, and to your point, because the concept
Yeah.
of pirates is one, they're the thieves on the sea, you know,
Murder,
and
kill, and the other words of what they do to women. They did that to women too, right? Lots of it. And, and then guess what? There are other men who want to protect the women from those pirates, from taking them to sea and do whatever they want with them, you know? And so we have to see these things as balance. Oh, we have a balanced conversation this morning, Lady Karen. Very balanced.
right. So
Yeah,
what will happen is that women
happy.
would be going on those ships so that they will not have to be subjected to
No, they don't go
the
on the ships. They don't go on the ships. They don't go on the ship. They come to your country, come up to the shores, come to your land, and grab your women and take them. You don't have no chance to stop them from doing it. That's it. And if the men are not strong enough to prevent that, then the women will be taken, the kids will be taken, the men will be killed if they're not strong enough. So we should say to women, make your men stronger. Encourage your men to be strong so we are protected even more in this society.
I will say to men, stay true to your calling to be the defenders of the nation, defenders of the women and the children. And so equip yourselves with the necessary skills to be the protector. And it is still required today. We still require you
Thank
to
you.
display your masculine prowess. We are totally relying on your,
Thank you.
is it the brawn and the muscles?
Thank you.
I will tell you yesterday when we were at the sports day, and just to mention that the
Sports day
conference,
yesterday, yes.
yes, it got off to a late start. There were some showers throughout at the beginning, and certainly it was a reason why they closed up a little bit earlier than expected. I think there was one or two other events that would have taken place, but they had to forego because the rain came down a little heavier in the afternoon. But when we were there, we had the muscles of the men assisting with setting up the flashpoint, and we want to make sure that we especially thank Marlon for being our protector or defender. He was very creative in protecting, not just us, but making sure that his muscles and his brain power was fully on display in making sure that we were protected. And so, shout out to Marlon. But it was a wonderful day. The community was represented. We had different churches. At the end of it, the top three were named with the caveat that the scores are still being tallied. And so there is an opportunity for a change. But I believe at that moment, it was it Maranatha, Lady Elise, who
Yes.
topped
Yes.
for Newlands in second, and then you had Town in third. So those are the point standings at the time when they were called, subject to further review of the numbers. So we believe that the final and official numbers will be shared later. But it was a wonderful day. The pastors came out. It was very interesting. The pastors race, it was a lot of fun. And when you look at this on the track, the men, I was so impressed with how the strength of the competition among the gentlemen, they were so, it was such a beauty, certainly for me, to see that they were competing, but they were enjoying themselves after the race. There was that camaraderie, that fellowship, that they were like, okay, the next race I'm going to. And so it was beautiful competition on the field. We had under six going all the way up to open race. So everybody had an opportunity to participate, and there was good food as well. So it was certainly from our vantage point, it was a good day. Lady Elise was on the microphone and the mix, and she gave good music, So it was certainly all in all a wonderful day. And Michael, we missed you. We absolutely missed you. But we're holding the fort for you. We're
Well,
holding the
what happens is this, sometimes, I had another event that I was at, and of course, they too, we too had some fun. We're at the Adventurers um, uh,
You know,
award, what you call honors. They were doing honors, and of course, there was a few things going on. It was a big showcasing of the Adventurers Club. That's what we call the Pathfinder Club, the arm of the church that actually teach that military skill of survival when dangerous times come. When the Sunday law is enforced and you have to run from your home. We don't teach these things anymore, but when you have to run from your home, that club is designed for that. But I want us to give a big shout out to the lady, Sister Merle Watkins, sorry. Sister Merle Watkins for her leadership in this sports event, and of course the organization, the organizing of it, and for Flashpoint to be a part of it as well. And of course, we want to thank the persons who actually helped and assist in varying ways in making Flashpoint become smoother and better and reach more people across the world. We want to give you a shout out and thanks this morning. And of course, from the Mikey G's desk to the persons who would have been among the group of persons who enjoyed Flashpoint yesterday, we want to say we really appreciate you so much.
of
absolutely.
course, I'm just going to share the very few pictures of the pirates.
Well, we are on radio, so you have to describe the pictures because there are people who are on YouTube and, of course, Facebook, but there are also persons tuned into radio that they are just hearing the radio.
Well,
So
I think they would have got
you have to describe the pictures. Is
there's
it a
one bear
man,
belly man.
a beer belly man? That's what I'm talking about, right? That's what I'm talking. You have to describe what you're looking at. We have to know
And
what
it's
they think.
two fronts. It's BEER and BARE. So
This is the
both
beer belly man, the one that drink is that what? Is a beer. Let me ask you, what's a beer like the animal beer? How is that one spelled?
BEAR. So and he was very trapped in, so he could have been a BEAR as well. So so
Oh
well,
boy, I tell you.
interesting encounter. So
Yeah, pictures of the beer belly man. Is there any other pictures there, Elise? I don't know. You're describing the beer belly man's picture. Is there any other pictures?
The beautiful lady that we mentioned who well we had a picture there from her from 1977 as well, and she looking so beautiful, so elegant, yeah, very stately, and we are sharing that photo as well. I want to thank our listeners for being with us on the journey. We had a very interesting weekend, and we plan to have an even more interesting day. Now, today is a holiday in the Cayman Islands, as we mentioned when we started, and it's Remembrance Day. And I wanted to ask a question: how important it is for us to remember why we celebrated Remembrance Day, and you'll see persons with the puppy, and it's because of this day.
Well, today could also be remembered as the day when you men are stop cutting off their private parts, mutilating themselves. Now, listen what I'm saying. A system that tells men that they can cut off their private parts and throw it in the garbage because it has no use.
When
Today
did
we can
we?
remember. Today we can add Remembrance Day to that part of it, and to destroy young women, taking them out of who women supposed to be, to have children, and to bring the next generation, and stop teaching them the nonsense that's going on. So we can remember these things today, and that we can also remember that the church have a responsibility to be the salt, and also to be defined in this space, to set a clear example of what this should look like, so that the world, when it is mixed up, it has somewhere to reference its stupidity from. Have a good day, guys. That's my little bit from the desk of me this morning. Right.
Uh,
Point.
so, Elise, so that's a very interesting summary from the desk of Mikey G. I think remembrance is also around the men who would have gone out, given their lives for in defense of their country, in defense of their people. And so it is an opportunity for us to pay homage to those who were strong enough, bold enough to go out. And in some instances, they would have given their lives, some returned, and I believe it makes sense for us to continue to honor the contribution, the gallantry that they would have displayed in protection. So, very fitting for us to remember all that has happened on this day.
Thank you so much, Lady Curly Karen, for that bit of recognition. Of course, for our listeners this morning, if you just joined us, we want to thank you. I mean, we just have to thank you. Continue to listen to Flashpoint. We have a full day's programming, of course. It is a holiday for people in the Grand Cayman, but of course, we have an international audience. So I guess they're not on holidays everywhere. Of course, the United States is also celebrating an holiday as well today. And of course, that's happening. And so we want to say thanks for joining, thanks for sticking and listening, and being a part of Flashpoint, and of course, a part of this great movement. Over to you, Lady Elise.
Over to me. Well, not quite. Just want to just mention the other things that are celebrated today. National Sunday Day, which is Sundae. You know that lovely dessert. It's a Veterans Day.
Ah, we only Sunday on Sunday.
Yes, yeah, nice. So it's a beautiful day no matter where you find yourself. Want to thank you for being a part of the Flashpoint movement as we move ahead. You know, there are so many things that I've learned being a part of this journey. One of them is resilience and tenacity, and I think it ought to be in our vision. I'll speak with our CEO and our mission because certainly we have proven over and over again, you know, how resilient we are, and we are thankful. It's a powerful life lesson. So you will see we here, we link about with Talawa. I want to thank you for joining us today, and I hope that today will be a day that you remember. And if you are in the Cayman Islands and you are going to be chilling or enjoying the beach, just do so safely, and remember to reach out to someone who might need a little support or someone who would need a little bit of encouragement. So have yourself a beautiful and a wonderful Monday. Inspiration as the Savannah Seventh day Adventist Church presents Sermon Through Music Revived. Join us at the Windsor Park Children's Playground on Friday, November 15th. We start with free health checks at 6:30 p.m. Enjoy the marching band at 7:15 and experience uplifting music and Vespers at 7:30 p.m. Reconnect, revive, and be inspired. Hope to see you there. Get ready for an evening of inspiration as the Savannah Seventh day Adventist Church presents Sermon Through Music Revived. Join us at the Windsor Park Children's Playground on Friday, November 15th. We start with free health checks at 6:30 p.m. Enjoy the marching band at 7:15 and experience uplifting music and Vespers at 7:30 p.m. Reconnect, revive, and be inspired. Hope to see you there.
Of course, this segment of the Breakfast Hour is brought to you by Asai Ultrasound for all your ultrasound needs right here in the Grand Cayman Islands. And of course, we have been having a wonderful morning. For those who have joined us this morning, thank you guys. Of course, it's all today. It's Magnificent Monday. Yeah, and Flashpoint continues. Of course, our YouTube and our Facebook stream may have stopped, but continue to enjoy Flashpoint right here on radio. We're going to do it just like this. Of course, it is another beautiful one. Of course, we gotta just let you know, no matter where you are today, keep listening to Flashpoint.